stress amount. Not gonna run with it. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna do a yoga thing today. I was thinking maybe I could name my channel something a bit better. I was watching a lot of people on YouTube as well. Just seeing clear evidence of the mistakes a lot of people make. I think the risk is being too hungry for power. And really, if I am going to do this thing, which I'm really not sure about, I need to really ensure that the pace I take it all at, ensure that I don't fall into those same mistakes. That those people who get hungry for attention seem to be making. Like, I'm definitely not perfect. I suppose you just always got to ask yourself if you're making the right decision. And ask yourself, can I do it to improve my own life, I suppose, rather than doing it for the attention. Because, like, what I'm seeing online now is all the, you know, that the big, I don't know if I should name the person, but that the basically the game show guy who does all that stuff for, you know, the younger audiences, turned out to be a fraud. Just another dude hungry for power. I don't want to be that dude. And like, the reality is it's so easy to kind of trick yourself into doing things for the wrong reasons, simply because you get a reward from it. You know, the mind is like, oh, resource gain of some kind. And, you know, depending on what that thing is, I mean, like, you can, in many ways, enslave yourself to it. Or I don't know if a more sensitive word would be trap yourself within its cage. Like, even like yoga and exercise, my understanding of the benefit is it's good for both my mind and my body. And those are the things I'm looking for if I want to live a productive life. And a lot of people get confused by searching for things which are only stimulating for the mind. Well, a lot of people, I mean me, when I was younger. Definitely. What I mean is me when I was younger. Running away from what turned out to be a very ill body, but it only got sicker. And it kind of feels like only in experiencing something that was more traumatic than my most traumatic childhood experiences, which in the grand scheme of things, you know, could potentially be considered even low level within the potential for human suffering, but it was just, I suppose, the problem I faced, and the problem that as people we always face, I think, is trying to live a structured life which is productive for both mind and body. You know, and I suppose that's the meaning of health, which, as far as I can tell, is the fundamental truth. Or no, it's the first principle. The first principle is health, and everything should be built from there. And like it, oh God, it feels hypocritical for me to say that. For one, because I'm not by any means a picture of health. Quite a lot. I woke up with a lot of inflammation today in both my hands. Like, it's not as bad as it was. It's definitely healing. But like, there's a lot of erosion. My left shoulder in particular was terrible. It's because I allowed myself to eat kefir and fruit, and I'm actually terrible with portion control when I'm eating something that's not necessary. So I ate like a bag of fucking blueberries and like a load of fermented milk and cream, which theoretically is probably quite healthy, but my body just can't deal with. Well, with the sugars, I could probably deal with 10, maybe 20 grams, you know, like the keto, 10 to 20 grams of sugar. But from my experience, if you're looking to heal the body from injury, you just want high fat, healthy fat, and medium to low protein, to be honest. You could do high protein, but it depends who you are, I think. If you eat too much protein, it gets changed into, the body realises it won't be able to use it all, change some of it to glycogen, and you get a blood sugar spike. That blood sugar spike, as far as I can tell, is actually quite useful if you're only doing it like once, maybe twice a day. But that's not like law. A lot of people's bodies are conditioned to kind of undergo experiences which some people would kind of label as suboptimal. But the reality is, like, if you can condition your body, you can endure things which some people would consider potentially being dangerous. And you've got to be really cautious with that, because not all human beings are the same. Like, some human beings can hold their breath for 10 minutes. But to advise anybody to do that first time would be, cruel, basically. Cruel's not even the right word, it would be malicious and dangerous. And so, I suppose when trying to give people solutions, it quite quickly becomes complex, because all these subtle changes in our conditioning of potential in these things. Oh, my shoulder. Oh, 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 that doesn't feel good. Get better. I'm very doubtful that I can actually provide any benefit to other people's lives. And that's hard to admit. I suppose that's why doing this has a potential to be good for me. If I utilise the tool of content creation to challenge that as a fundamental belief, you know, I can help people. I can also fall into a trap of thinking I'm helping people while actually not helping people. And that's, you know, likely just as easy. Just as easy, or maybe easier. I think I'm clear on why I'm doing this. Firstly, it's scary. And although I considered myself brave, I didn't do enough that I found scary. Secondly, with more data filming myself, hopefully it can increase the rapidity, the speed of my development, and I have to heal. Like I've talked about being sick a lot, and eventually I'll, you know, make a video on that or whatever. I've got a load of photos and videos, and it still doesn't really do what I feel like I went through justice, but validates some stuff, I suppose. And then, I suppose really it's just about self-reflection. I've spent a lot of my life running away from myself. Running away from my body is how it feels now. And in running away from my body, I destroyed it. I didn't know how to love myself, and I became less than half of my, you know, more than the sum of your parts. I became less than the half of my parts. Less, you know, I became, I suppose, just a chaotic mind, convinced there was something wrong, while looking completely in the wrong direction. Kind of like, imagine a car driving at you, and you're transfixed on the tree swaying in the wind. It's nice seeing improvement in yourself. Got to be grateful for that. And I suppose, at least in filming myself, I can build up a bit of that confidence I used to have. I suppose, yeah, that'll be a big part of the journey as well. Now, to be honest, I imagine there's a lot of people just like me, feeling just as lonely, and who really do desire to be strong, successful, practical people. You know, living good lives. And we've never had more potential for that than now. things for the right reasons. You know, to help people, to provide value to people's lives. To help people? No, to help myself and then offer what I've learned as an option for other people. A potential option. And personally, I found the more options you have, the more likely you are to make a good decision. And so if I can just add another option to the pile, people can be a bit more creative in what they're doing. You know, like, oh, I didn't know I could do that thing that this person's doing. I didn't know that was an option. Well, I don't exactly want to do what he's doing, but I know what this other guy who's doing this other pretty cool thing. Maybe I could kind of combine them and live my own unique way, because a couple of people were willing to take the time and effort to present an idea, even if it isn't perfect. I hope this kind of content provides some value to people's lives, because I genuinely think it's actually providing value to my life, because I was afraid of doing this. I've spent too much of my life afraid, you know. And it wasn't even my fear, it was the fear of the previous generation. Like, life's too short to be governed by your fear. Fear should be used as a motivator to work hard, not as a driver to dictate your decision making. Fear's a good teacher, but not a good master, maybe. Something like that. Anyway, thanks for listening. I wish you strength, warriors, fellow people.